What's up, African Fight Fam? It's your boy JB, aka Jibril, from the African Fighters, and you are back. You are welcome to the African Fighters podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a very happy day for us African Fight Fam, but hey, it's not only me, it's a very full house, it's a packed house. Two people that you've seen before. One you've seen him once, but let me just start from Abuja, Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, he is an enthusiast of MMA, one of the most popular names in the space of Nigerian MMA inside Nigeria, from the capital city of Nigeria. He is a commentator on African Knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Young Jollof, Young Oche. What's up, my brother? How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing great, my G. Thank you for the amazing introduction. It's a pleasure to be here this evening.
I I think I would have done a better job if I had prepared properly. And next, next from Lagos. Oh shit. From London, England, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, President, Israel Adesanya Fan Club, King Dems, aka Demola. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. I'm good. It's life we're living on, and of course, we are going to come back stronger and better.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Don't worry, you get your space. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy from Lagos State, Nigeria, poster boy of bad internet connection, Toby Aderemi. What's good, Toby?
Also, I'm good. I'm not good, but I don't know. We'll get better as time goes on.
Yeah, there he is, and here we are, the African fighters. All right, today it's going to be a lot of conversation around UFC 293 in Sydney, Australia. Obviously we're going to start from the top. We're going to talk about Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya. Sean Strickland defeated Israel Adesanya via unanimous decision. It was a very one-sided fight. In If you watch the fight, you would probably assume that Strickland is the champion and Izzy was the contender because Izzy didn't fight like a champion. But all credit to Sean Strickland. His story is crazy if you follow it. But here we go. It was a shocker. I would want to take. I'm going to start with Oche because I want to hear his opinion first. Oche, how surprised were you with Strickland's performance? Would you say, are you surprised about Strickland and the dominating fashion he won, or are you surprised that Izzy did not come out looking sharp?
I would say I was surprised at how dominant Strickland was for the entirety of the fight from rounds one, three, four, and five. That level of dominance, I could not have predicted it. I would be lying to you if I said that was way more shocking to me than any other thing on the night. More shocking than Izzy's performance or lack of a performance, actually. It was Sean and his game plan from his team, Eric Nixick from Couture. I think they are game planning the team he had behind him and him as a person. I could not I didn't predict that happening. I didn't.
Yeah, it was very shocking. And I tried to we did an instant reaction and I tried to get the opinion of Demola. All right. Um, um, sorry guys. I just went through the comments and I saw something. I'm just going to highlight a comment here by Temba Gorimbo. Temba is watching us now. What's up, Temba? Temba has criticism for us. He says, "You guys are not serious anymore. Your page be dead now." Temba, well, life happened, Temba. We're trying to get back on track. We're trying to keep the consistency here, but I understand you, my brother. I understand you, my brother. We try to keep it consistent. Yeah. So with that said, I'm going to go to President Israel Adesanya fan club. Um, Demola, what was your emotions going through that fight, watching from round one to round five, and watching round five and seeing that there's no way Easy can win this, and you saw Easy running away from the fight in that round five. What was your emotion like? What were you feeling at that moment, and what did you think generally?
Okay, I think I'll start from the end of the fight, right? I think I remember you texted me and asking for the instant reaction. I think I remember top of my head, I just told you I was depressed, right? But watching that fight, I think, to be very honest, I was actually disappointed. Yeah, that's the emotion that was running through me because I expected a lot from Easy, but in life with professionals and human beings, right? Sometimes you have an off day at the office, and uh that's what happened basically in that fight. I think Easy is actually way better than that. He did not fight up to his potential. I strongly believe that something was off, but maybe over time we'll get to know. Maybe in time he'll get to disclose that, professional athletes sometimes go into fights with undisclosed injuries, and it's a fight of such a magnitude and he wouldn't want to pull out. We know the mental fortitude of Easy, right? And he just couldn't perform on the night, but he did not fight up to his potential. That's what I would say basically, and it was actually very disappointing. Big up to Sean Strickland. I'd said this before, right? That Sean. And Easy himself said it that Sean is a dangerous man. He has everything to gain and nothing to lose, and he proved it. And congratulations to
Okay.
him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to quickly address his comments by Temba Gorimbo. He said, "You can't have an MMA page and only come when our brother fall. You supposed to send good vibes. Nah, well, um, we did a preview for this fight, and just last week, Temba, and all of us unanimously picked Izzy to win, as so the rest of the world, as so the bookmakers. But we just couldn't shy away from after the fight night yesterday. We just had to hop on here and talk about it. And would obviously, we're obviously spreading positivity. We're not happy that this happened, and we're going to be trying to outline and foresee what the future is going to be like. All right, so going back to going back to the topic at hand, Toby.
Yeah. Uh, oof. You just want me to comment on it, or you want to ask me something specifically?
um yeah, you can go ahead and comment on and reply to
Okay.
Temba, please.
On Temba. Uh,
Hey,
Temba is pretty
hey,
pissed off right now. But anyways, okay, so
Temba is not happy.
nah, he's not. Okay, so
Temba is not happy. Yeah.
we did the immediate reactions to the fight, and I was losing my okay, we can't swear here, but I was losing it basically. And now that I've had time to calm down, actually watch the fight again, I had to do that. I feel like what they say that styles make fights, is actually very true. And Strickland managed to impose his style of fight, and make it that type of fight. And I'm not entirely sure if Easy prepared for that situation. If I have to fight moving backward for the entire 5 rounds, what will I do? If I'm not able to, usually Easy dictates the distance at which the fight occurs, but he wasn't able to do that yesterday, and I think that played a big factor in how the fight went down. But um listening to his coach, I just saw the interview not too long ago. I feel like they think that they just need minor adjustments and they'll be fine. So yeah, I'm pretty optimistic for the rematch.
Yes. Okay. This honestly, I'm not happy that Temba is not happy. Okay, so I have to address this again.
Yeah,
Temba,
you do.
so we have been going live. So if you go on YouTube, if you click on the live, because YouTube has now demarcated everything now, videos, shorts, and live. If you go on our live column, you would see that we are always live weekly. We just don't post like segments from the podcast, if you understand what I mean. So it's there. We have been on live. We were live earlier today. We were live last week Sunday. We were live the Sunday after that one too. So it's just that
Yeah.
we never really split put it in. I never really got to check the email. So I apologize about that. I would go through it again. Yes, positive vibes only here, Temba. You already know. We are out here for the African fighters. You know, Temba. You know this. You know this. All right. So let's get back on this wagon, okay? All right. So what do you guys think? After the fight, DC in the post-fight little reaction that they do that they would stay on the broadcast, he mentioned that Izzy should take time off, right? But on the post-fight press conference, Dana White said that Izzy will get the rematch if he wants it, basically. Um, Oche, I would go to you first. If it were you, what would you? If you were Izzy, what would you do?
Hmm. Well, initially, when I was watching the fight and I saw that it wasn't a cardio issue in because usually when you're the one moving backwards, your gas tank will empty before the other guy just by virtue of the fact that you're doing something that you're not used to doing. So when I saw that it was the fifth round and Izzy was based losing based off of the style of the fight, not because he had gassed. That got me optimistic that minor adjustments to his game plan might yield a more positive result. However, I thought about it again.
Wait, wait, wait,
Some,
wait, wait, wait.
yeah,
Sorry. I just thought of something.
yeah,
Temba. Sorry, Oche. I was going to ask Temba. Temba, I could don't mind if you want me to send you a link, I'll send it to your Instagram right now. So just comment yes, and then I'll send you a link, and you can join us if you don't mind. Thank you. So Oche, continue, please.
yeah. So when I saw that, when I made, but at the same time, when I saw the shots that Strickland landed on Izzy, that first shot in round one, the follow-up shots on the floor, that kind of damage. I know Strickland used to have the reputation for having pillow fists. He can't knock anybody out. He even commented on it himself. But seeing Izzy react like that, that got me worried. I would like time off. Like he's 34 years of age. He's already at the top of the game. There's no need to rush it. You already have a cemented legacy. I would prefer, after just thinking about it a second time, let them just take it slow. There's no need to rush right back in.
Hmm. Yeah, so Jared Cannonier already has a win on Strickland, and he has been on a tear recently. Does he have a claim for a title fight now, or do we see Dricuss get the next title fight if Izzy is taking time off? Or do we see the winner of Paulo Costa and Khamzat? This is a lot of questions that have been going around. Demola, what do you think? Who do you think? What do you think should be next? Basically, I know you would be in for like, oh, let's get easy, get back in there for a rematch. But what do you think?
Okay. I know being the president of Easy Fans Club globally, you would agree that I would be biased to have an immediate rematch for Easy, but to be honest, to be objective in this regard, I do not think from that perspective, right? But then looking at the factors that are playing out, I heard what Dana White said at the post-fight press conference, right? Truth is, Dana White and the UFC brass are rooting for an immediate rematch for Easy, and they would have that conversation with Easy to see how long do you want to stay out for. And Easy is this champion who likes to be very active, right? So instead of seeing a rematch in say 3 4 months, they could possibly push for 5 months, right, or 6 months. Or I see an immediate Easy rematch based off Easy's image is actually well suited for the UFC. Easy is the biggest star in the UFC right now, after Conor McGregor. So everything plays
Yeah,
towards an easier
I'm
match.
going to ride on that. I'm going to ride on that. Normally, Dana White, there's this thing called Dana White privilege that is quite popular around everybody, right? Someone in the comment section made mention Sean. I'm not sure if he's talking about Sugar Sean O'Malley or Sean Strickland, but if you've got Dana White privilege, Dana White would pick you, and Dana White privilege comes with your drawing power. If you've got drawing power, he's going to pick you over and over and over again. Hence why Izzy gets this rematch, because Izzy does good business for the UFC as a champion, better than Sean Strickland does, if you are looking at it from a bigger point of view. So, and I think, and I believe Izzy versus Sean Strickland too would be a bigger fight than Sean Strickland versus anybody in the middleweight division. So I am. Dana is basically choosing the pocket of the UFC when he says, "Oh yes, sure. If Izzy wants a rematch, he is going to get it."
Mukudina is a
We've got
businessman.
we've got Reborn Legend here. He says, "Lol, of course, let's run it back. Sean got him. Yeah, Sean got him. I well, we would have to wait to see what that YouTube post of freestyle bender is going to be like. Izzy's got a documentary coming up very soon, so I'm sure that because of for promo reasons, he would not want to be quiet right now. So he would want to continue promoting that fight, that his film basically. Hence why he's going to talk about it. So we would hear from him pretty soon if he wants to get back in there. And I think he might decide to stay away until next year. Honestly, even if he doesn't, even if he won the fight, he probably would fight next year. But if I was him, I would stay out until maybe next year summer. But well, that's my opinion. All right, here is what Temba says here. Izzy gets what Izzy wants. He is the champ. He lost to the decision, but not the fight. Yes, yes, Temba. Izzy lost by TKO against Alex Pereira, and he got his fight back, and he got his get back basically. So Izzy does what he wants to do. Um,
Hmm.
Bas- He says that's his bias side. Well, Temba, on this side, we are all biased when it comes to when it comes to our African brothers. All right, so I'm going to talk about something real quick, yeah. So Dricus Duplessis went on Twitter and he has reacted about this whole thing. He said, it doesn't matter. I don't know the exact. I can't remember the exact phrasing, but it goes like this: It doesn't matter about the loss by Izzy. The title is still coming to South Africa. Basically, what he's saying is, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to win the title. He is, I would say, he's still campaigning to be the next challenger or the next contender for Sean Strickland's title. And I think Sean Strickland, being the fighter that he is, he has been a replacement fighter for UFC multiple times. He comes in anytime they ask him to come. I don't think he's someone that would want to rest. I think he would want to get back in there, and I think if that's the case, maybe Dricus would accept because he has healed up very, very, very well. But yeah. With that being said, do you think Dricus actually gets this next title shot? Because right now, Dana White is not a big fan of him. Toby, I haven't spoken to you in a minute. What do you think?
Oof. I think this is where Dricus might, you know, rule the decision not to get in the octagon with Easy when he had the chance. Because I feel like from a business standpoint, I think the Easy versus the Strickland rematch might make more sense than you do the Dracos versus Easy fight. I don't think the Dracos Strickland fight has, the story that would make it sell, right? So I feel like he might just need to wait this one out, and then we get the Easy Strickland rematch before we
Eh,
see Dracos versus Easy.
you
So
well,
he
I'm
might
going
have
to
he might actually have to fight one more time before that fight, because it will have been out for too long, ring rust and all of that. So yeah.
but here's the thing. I don't think Sean Strickland is someone Sean Strickland fans might not like this. I don't think he's someone that can defend the title multiple times. I think he will get very soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Um yeah, but okay, so here's something interesting. Temba thinks that Dricus will beat both of them. So basically, Dricus can beat both Easy and Strickland. Young Goche, make I ask you, do you agree or do you not agree?
It's fighting. Any man can win on any given night. So that's the rule of fighting, right? Anyone can win. So yes, based off of that, yes. Stylistically, I actually feel Dricus should take it over Strickland if they fight. Just thinking about it in my head, but at the same time, I wouldn't rule him out because something that was missing from today's fight was any kind of wrestling or grappling, and there a part of me while I was watching Izzy, I watched the fight go on, I was thinking to myself, imagine if Izzy had wrestling in his pockets. Like just imagine if he was something he could do, or like something that came naturally to him, shooting for a takedown. Because one of the things that was so obvious during the fight was that Sean took away all the options that Izzy typically has on the table in on any given fight night. And yeah, I just wish a part of me just wished that this amazing kickboxer that we all know and love just had something else to show this guy on this one night. And wrestling was the thing. And wrestling is the thing that Dricus can bring to the table. So yeah, Dricus can win. I think Dricus can beat Strickland, and Dricus can win Izzy. But if you're telling me that, if they fight 10 times, who wins? Who wins? What's the win rate? I would say Izzy should win that 7 times out of 10. But maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm biased.
Uh, well, um, I tend to agree with you, but let's bring Chimaev into this conversation because it looks like Temba is the one that is anchoring our conversation today. Because whenever he comments, that's where we are going. All right, so
Yeah.
Chimaev says, well, thinks that Chimaev will be the next because UFC likes him, and it's the numbers game. Yeah, with Chimaev, there's something going on that people have not clearly reported, but from things that have been happening, I would say I have put one and two together. And I think that Chimaev cannot be in the US at the moment. He can't fight in the US. There's a few reports out there that is saying Chimaev has aligned himself with some Russian warlords and he's having issues with his visa. Hence why he is on the Abu Dhabi card. He hasn't fought for a long time. He's been waiting for the Abu Dhabi card. Oche, I see you shaking your head. Do you think there's something going on with Chimaev? Because Chimaev, he came out, his whole gimmick was I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. And
Yeah,
it has
yeah.
been a while we saw his anytime, anywhere. Do you think that wouldn't be an issue with the fact that UFC wouldn't want to push him because he can't do business for them in the US at the moment?
My issue, why I'm even shaking my head, is who the hell is managing this guy's career? They're doing such a terrible job. Such a terrible job. Shimaev had this upward trajectory. He had such a bright future, straight line to the title. And then you just start having all these things. Let's not go into too much politics, but he's done stuff with people that you don't want to be seen in public with, unfortunately, and it's affecting his marketability. And now I'm hearing this. This is the first time I'm hearing that he can't fight, that he possibly can't fight in the US, and that's just terrible. Like you've just cut off an entire market share of an audience that you can't perform in. Like why? Like I don't know who's managing him. I don't know whether he's just wild in the cage and in real life, but I'm just like he needs to do better. He's young, but he's not going to be young forever. They need to make smarter decisions.
Yeah, so right now, guys, Dricuss is looking unbeatable in this division all of a sudden, right? Because if you pair him up against everybody, including Izzy, you kind of see the pathway to victory for him right now. Because I fancy him over Chimaev. All Chimaev's wrestling, I think Dricuss has a very good defense. Um, yeah, so let's get back into this. Jesse Dunaway says, honestly, Chimaev is good, but his gas tank is a massive issue. Hence why I think Dricus can be him. Temba says, very true. He also messed up there. Not sure why though, but yeah, that's not good for business. Yeah, I believe Temba is referring to the whole political thing with Chimaev. All right, I'm going to hop on because we've been on this for over 20 minutes. Um, there's another question here. I'm going to give a shout out to our guys on our Patreon, basically. Yes. So this question from Christopher Graham. I forgot to give you a shout out. Shout out to Christopher Graham. He has most of the questions here for us. Um, yeah, so Temba actually believes in Dricus just like I do now. He says Dricus beats all the top guys, all the top five
Mm,
guys. Yeah, it's quite
mm,
obvious right now. And I think after last
mhm.
night, his confidence only went up.
Oh,
So yeah, so I'm going to be picking up questions from our Patreon. Yeah, and it's going to be mostly around UFC 293. So Manel Starbuck Cap from Angola yesterday fought the Brazilian undefeated fighter Dos Santos, sorry. And it wasn't a one-way traffic like he predicted it was going to be. It wasn't a one-way traffic like the bookmakers thought it was going to be because Manel Cap was a heavy favorite. It wasn't really a good night for betting people though, because Easy lost at the top of the card as well. So Yeah. First of all, did you guys, if you guys have seen the fight, obviously you have. Did you think that fight was too close than we previously thought? And before we get to the antics after the fight and him and Kai Kara France, Toby, you first. I know you
Yeah.
have a particular liking for Manel Cap. What do you think about Manel's performance?
Uh, I remember we spoke about this topic the last time. I told you that this guy that he's facing is actually it's no stroll in the park for him. He really showed me a lot of the things that we did, on the preview that we thought he was going to bring to the table, and he brought even more. But I was pretty impressed with how calm Manel Cap stayed, managed to, okay, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. What next? He found his rhythm, found what was working. It was obvious. It was obvious to everybody who was watching that I think Cap had the stronger, what I call it, the stronger strikes, the heavier strikes, and he just, stayed in his zone and managed to pick him apart and win by decision. It was obvious that guy wasn't going anywhere, but I was really impressed with how Manel Cap handled the situation, especially because that was not what we were expecting per se. But yeah,
Okay, so I'm going to go. We're not reviewing the fight, but we are going to review what happened in the pre-fight press conference before the fight. We saw Manel Cap raining insults at the way of Kai Kara France in the press conference, right? And calling him the P word, calling him the B word, and all sorts of words, right? And there was this like cool, cool pro wrestling type of shtick that happened. He took a bottle, threw it into the crowd to Kai Kara France and was insulting him. And then Dricuss was like, "Yo, you don't touch my partner." And then we see Manuel Cap down there telling Dricuss like, "You sit down,
Telling
sit down."
telling
The
Izzy, not
yeah,
Dricus, Izzy.
sorry, telling Izzy, sit down, man, sit down. And like the fact that he had the microphone, so it was only his voice we could hear. We couldn't hear what Dricus and Izzy was saying back to him. It made him look bigger than Izzy in that aspect. And there was something controversial that happened, which is going to make me segue to the Blood Diamond fight as well. But after the fight, we had two people in Manel Cup and Radtke, some South African some American fighter, used the homophobic F word in there, and there was a lot of backlash on social media. Americans and all the wokeness. I'm not saying it's a good thing to say, but yeah, all that started, all the political debate of wokeness started, and we saw the American with a public apology. But with regards to Manel Cap, do you think that it's like because he's not an English speaker? It's like a thing that they say. I'm not making excuses for him. Oh. Is it like a thing that they say in Portuguese that he just translated and said it like, ah, everybody in Dricus, everybody in Izzy's team is an F word. And DC, Daniel Cormier had to take the microphone away from him. So now it makes sense to me why they never give the microphone to the fighter in like the cage interview. They have to like hold it, because if that guy takes that microphone and starts starts going, it's going to be a problem. But uh Oche, sorry, I
Yeah,
haven't gone to Demola for a while.
yeah,
Demola,
Demola.
did you see that part? And what was your reaction to the whole shenanigans at the end of it?
I saw that part, right, and I think instantly I don't know whether maybe on our platform I said Manuel went too far. That's just my opinion. He went too far. There are certain lines you do not cross. Yeah, we understand that you might want to get angry, you might want to express yourself. However, certain lines are too sensitive. Religion, sexuality, family, those kind of lines you do not cross them. That's it for me.
Yeah, Oche, you've got something. Let me hear your reaction about Manel Cap's antic in there. I've got my reaction, and I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
guys after Oche. Oche, you go.
Okay. My reaction is, what do we expect? Like, it's not his first language. He just finished expending all his adrenaline in a cage, and this is the fight of his life. he cannot even speak the language that they are giving him the microphone. Like, what do we expect? Of course, it's going to be a disaster. Like, he's not. You can't expect anything positive from that. So for me, another thing is fighters coming, especially from my years fighting as well. There's a mentality that you kind of develop. You don't look at yourself as if you're normal like everybody else. There's a kind of self-delusion that you have to create for yourself for because you're focusing on your goal. You want to be champion. And there are a million other people on this earth that want to be champion too. So I feel like there's a mentality that fighters have that and that's why people love fighting so much because fighters are crazy. Like we are crazy. I know because I'm crazy too. So when I see somebody like that, because it's not his language, and it's a wild game. Crazy things happen in the UFC. That's why people watch it. So I wasn't surprised. My own is just like next time, just don't give him the microphone when he's angry.
Well, okay. So hear me out, guys. Hear me out, right? I think that Manel Kape has the opportunity or has the trajectory right now to be the biggest star in the flyweight division right now because of everything that happened in fight week. It's literally things that happen in pro wrestling, right? I'm
Yeah.
not even going to make reference to Endeavor, the parent company of UFC, buying WWE. I'm pretty sure the guys, Dana White was seeing that and he was thinking money, money, money. Because flyweight division can be very boring because of the lack of finishes there. But
Mm,
because of how small they are. But with these antics, I think Kai Kara France versus Manel Kape should be the main event. Maybe when they come back to New Zealand or wherever it's going to be. If it's a fight night, that should be the main event, and it's going to be crazy fun building up
mm,
to that fight. But
mm,
I actually do think that right now, people who don't know Manel Kape, yo, when after the exchange with Dricuss, right, he blew up everywhere in social media. You were seeing like this little guy and I keep on saying Dricus,
With
this
Easy.
little guy and Izzy Adesanya going back and forth, right? I was like, what am I saying? Then people started pulling out receipts from Manel Kape. I saw like when they threw a video of him and Khabib, an old video of him and Khabib arguing about football became popular again. Something I've seen years ago. Videos of him in Japan. If you see what that guy did in Rising, that guy when he was in Rising, he was a former bantamweight champion in Rising, I believe. And for him to build up a fight, he was doing a Zoom call. He got angry because one of the Japanese fighters decided to no show, and then he got angry and then broke the laptop. He started he started insulting, throwing insults with his small English. I'm telling you, that guy is loads of fun, and
yes.
I've said this the first time we reviewed Manel Kape. I've said it. When the casuals get a hold of him, that like they've done right now, the sky is the limit for him, even if he doesn't become a champion. But right now, I think he has more drawing power than Pantoja. The only biggest star I think that will probably be there now is well, there's Figueredo and then there's Moreno. But yeah, that's what I think. But
Mm,
let me just get back into here. Jesse Dunaway says, I think Manel Kape was playing the heel, trying to sell the fight. Yeah, finally, I guess someone that has pro wrestling reference. Yes, he is the heel. He's playing the heel. Um, let's get into another Zimbabwean guy. All right, so this is quite sad for us here at African Fighters. Blood Diamond lost again. So right now in the UFC, he is 0 and 3. He came into the UFC 3 and 0. 100% win record. Right now, he is 50% win record. That's how bad his UFC run has been. And most of the criticism have been around his wrestling and his grappling. And he showed tremendous improvement in this fight with regards to that department. But regardless, the matchmaking wasn't uh wasn't good for him in a sense, for lack of a better word, good for him because he was paired up with an American wrestler or someone that is very, very good in that department. Toby, you are starting to get bored and your and and your internet is holding on today. So Toby, what did you think about Mateta, the only second UFC Zimbabwean fighter? Well, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Temba Gorimbo is here, right? Temba is the only Zimbabwean fighter in the UFC that has a win. in the UFC, Zimbabwean win from Themba Gorimbo, right? And so far, if my math is correct, Zimbabweans have fought what 5 times now, and Mateta lost 3 times. So yeah, that is not really a good record for Zimbabwe in there. But I'm sure there are many killers coming.
Just to
When
chip
Themba
in,
went to
just to chip this in, there's a new
yeah, yeah.
Zimbabwean in town. That's Bolaji Oki.
Well, Zimbabwean Nigerian, yeah, he just came out from the Dana White Contender Series. So yeah,
So there
yeah,
is a
that
new
that that guy,
Zimbabwean in the
yeah,
UFC.
yeah, that guy is loads of fun. Before I get to you, Toby, sorry, let me just get into the comments here. Starboy had to fight last night, and I'm happy he won. But you don't disrespect our big brother like that. Izzy is the big brother, by the way. Yep. Manel Kape did. Manel Kape did not give a F. He was just going on and on. Um. Yeah. Um, Jesse says, Blood Diamond was coming into MMA at an old age. He's 35, doesn't really have time to develop his skills. I bet you could tell by his wrestling. Temba says, Toby. Temba
My
thinks that Temba thinks that Okibolaji is more Zimbabwean than Nigerian. But Temba, we are claiming Okibolaji. He's more Nigerian than Zimbabwean. Green Tea says still diamond. But let's get back to Toby. Toby, what was your reaction to the way in which the Blood Diamond lost? He got a point taken away, and then we saw a huge flurry of offense from him in the third round. But what did you think of his performance?
uh, I think I feel like I was a little bit sad, about the result rather than even what happened with the performance because I feel like he really needed that win. And sadly he didn't get it, and now he'll be walking a tightrope. I think his next match might determine whether or not the UFC drops him or if they keep him. But yeah, that's. I remember we spoke about this last week. If anybody really, really needs a win, it was him, and sadly he couldn't get it. But I'll be looking forward to his next match, and I hope he can bounce back and win something.
Well, I don't know what his contract will look like. I know that he got signed because he comes from Easy's team. And his record, he's a welterweight, and his record was 3-0. He only had 3 fights in his, and the UFC thought, okay, we could sign him. I think it was probably Easy's Easy's
influence.
privilege that they signed him because he didn't
Mm.
have enough experience to join the UFC at that point. But do you think? Well, I'm not going to assume what his contract is like, but I'm pretty sure that he probably is coming to an end with his contract, and he probably wouldn't get signed again at this point. But uh, Temba says, I like Toby. He is more Zimbabwean. I talked to him. He's talking about Okibolaji, by the way. He thinks Okibolaji is more Zimbabwean than Nigerian. But Bolaji is a Nigerian name, is a Yoruba name. Demola will tell you that. So anywhere Oki goes and they sees Oki Bolaji, everybody knows he's Nigerian. But yeah, uh, Young Jollof, did you
Yes,
see
sir.
Mateta's performance?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I'm sorry to
It
say
was
I
very
was
early in the
not.
prelims.
I
Yeah.
definitely I'm the king of the prelims. I saw that performance, right? I had my money on Blood Diamond, knowing that he should show a sense of urgency, right, in that fight. But there was a lot to be desired, actually. There was a lot to be desired. He's more of a striker, and he was matched with somebody who is very good with their wrestling, and the defense and skill. The skill gap was very evident. But I wish him well. Let's see what he can pull up in his next fight. See if he's able to turn it around. Maybe have some viral knockouts or something. And of course, city kickboxing are quite influential with the UFC. They might be able to make him stay around. I wish him all the very best, actually.
Okay, I'm going to enter our patron questions again. All right, I've got one here from Christopher Graham. He says, okay, let me do this one first. is the result basically he's talking about Israel Adesanya's fight? Is the result a disaster for the UFC? And I think he means business wise. I'll go to the businessman, the financial guy. Demola, do you think UFC will take a hit with Izzy not being a champion financially?
Definitely, definitely. I'm a numbers guy. I crunch numbers for a living. I'll give you very quick numbers that you can easily relate to, right? Who do you think is a bigger draw in terms of drawing pay-per-view, right? For the UFC. So if you want to do a litmus test, right? Look at Israel Adesanya. How many followers does he have on Instagram? 9.4 million followers. Look at Sean Strickland. How many followers does he have on Instagram? Probably about 500,000 followers. So the gap is real, right? And of course, your fan base is what actually attracts the money, right? So any day, any night, right? Adesanya is always a bigger draw than Sean Strickland, and we all know Dana is a businessman. I sent a video of Dana trying to convince Khabib, right, to get a fight, to get a rematch with Conor. Why? Just because of the numbers that his fight with Poirier did, right? And Dana was trying to convince Khabib that if the numbers for your fight against Poirier is X amount, think about what the fight with McGregor would be. So Dana is definitely not happy. We could see it in his body language that he was not happy with Strickland winning because that's not good business wise for him. But beautiful story for Strickland. We are happy for him. Wish him the very best. But Dana is a businessman and he wants that rematch immediately. And we hope Israel is able to get back on track and do bigger business for the UFC. That's just
Yeah,
my take
so
on it.
thank you, thank you. We lost Toby there. There's a reference to Toby here with his ring light and his cutting. But the issue is, as a Nigerian, I know why Toby left. Toby left because NEPA carry lights. If you if you want to know what NEPA carry lights means, is that Toby is in Lagos, Nigeria, and the electricity just went up. So all right. Um, the result is affecting UFC Africa thing. Yes, I think it does because this is also a question from Patreon as well. Does this affect UFC Africa taking place next year? I think it does. The biggest sell for us for UFC Africa to happen is Dricuss versus Izzy, with Izzy being the champion because Izzy has already started laying the storyline, laying the blueprint for this fight to happen. This might be the greatest fight that has never happened, except for maybe Ngannou and John Jones. But but with the way the result is now, and Easy just decides to sit out, I don't think we'd ever see a Dricus Easy again, except if Dricus beats Strickland, and then now Easy would want to fight Dricus, and then now would have Dricus as a champion and Easy as a challenger. The as in the whole thing
Crazy.
has turned around. That would be pretty interesting. Wouldn't you agree, Oche?
Yeah, of course, of course. That's the beauty of the fight game now. Things are always changing. Things are never, you can never know too much in this game. You can be the most intelligent and wise person, and you think you can predict every fight. And then a 700 to 1 underdog like Sean Strickland just comes out of nowhere and shows you that you know nothing. So time will tell. We have to see what the body language from Izzy's corner is, what their decision is, what the UFC brass decide, but I feel Sean winning has put flavor because Izzy had already begun to have this air of invincibility in that middleweight division. Sean winning now, it opens up so many potential matchups you can make. You have all these guys who maybe Izzy has already beaten or were not good matchups for him. And Sean now, it's almost like it's a fresh world, a brand new. We woke up in a new world this morning, fortunately and unfortunately. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so let's quickly talk about you were mentioning oh gosh, I lost my train of thought there.
Mm,
Let me just go back into the Patreon questions.
mm.
Uh oh gosh, Christopher Graham is asking if the Patreon link is available in the YouTube description. Yes, I did a very bad job in setting up this stream. I forgot to put in the description. Yes, you can go to patreon.com/the African Fighters. Just search for us there. You would find us there. You could get in there and pledge. Um, let's get back into the Patreons. Toby, you have put on your generator, I can see. Temba was out here throwing shots at you.
Oh, really?
Yes. He says he admires your ring light and your curtains.
Ah, Demba. Okay. Oh.
So let's see yeah, so Jesse says, I think Izzy shouldn't have said Dricuss missed his shot. He should have said, make this fight happen in South Africa. I want to beat him in his backyard. But saying that Dricuss missed his opportunity made the UFC turn away from the fight. I think Izzy has already done everything he could to make this fight happen. He literally went into the cage and meet this guy and say, I want to fight you. You are next. But then for him to turn around, for Dricus to turn around, not to fight, obviously for reasons that are quite understandable. But then after the fight in interviews, Dricus did mention, I am now the number one contender. He has to fight me. I have to. He like literally. He's kind of sounded like he was dictating it. And Ochi, as you know, you guys as fighters, and Temba would agree with me. You guys have an ego. Like when another fighter is telling you that you have to do things his own way, that's when you'll probably be like, nah, fuck you. Oh, sorry for the F bomb. But I think that's what happened. That that Dricus lost this fight. Well, not lose the fight, but like that's why Izzy probably said, nah, he's lost his chance because Dricus started saying stuff like the number one contender, he has to fight me now, blah 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 in my terms or whatever. So I think that was it. I think Dricus did himself on that one. Um let's see what we got here. There have now been 9 title fights in the UFC, tying the record with 3 booked championship fights remaining in the year. Does a new record get set? Grasso, Shevchenko, Islam Charles, Jones, and Stipe. So this year has been crazy with title changes. In 2021, there was literally not a single title change. But right now, this year, it's like the year of baton, passing the baton around. We've seen them Kamaru Usman, them Shevchenko that was invisible. We saw we saw so many upsets, so many things happen this year. But in these 3 title fights, I'll go first, right? Grasso, Shevchenko, Islam Charles, and Jones Stipe. The only fight I can see. Uh, let's to make this fun. Let's do it this way. You guys rank these 3 fights according to which is going to change hands from top to bottom. So Grasso is defending against Shevchenko, Islam is defending against Charles, and Jones is defending against Stipe. I think from bottom to top, the people that are likely not to lose the title, I think John Jones beats Stipe. Then next, I think Islam beats Charles, but I think it's pretty close. And I think Shevchenko gets her title back because she can. It's one of those cases of off night, I think, in her case. But Demola, what do you think?
I'm sorry, I have to agree with you. I think John Jones that gets the job done. If I were to put numbers to it, I think John Jones has an 80% chance of winning that fight. 80-20. Islam Charles, that's quite close. I'll say
Wait,
55-45.
Demola, I beg, I'll get you to do this again. Sorry, but we have an exclusive
Demba.
out here. We have an exclusive out here that I just have to mention. All right,
Drum roll.
Themba Gorimbo says, "Let me admit before he is done." Talking about Kamaru Usman, I would love to have a shot at Kamaru Usman just to carry the torch. It's my dream matchup. Wow, this is a very big call out. This is a very big call out. You see this part? This
That
part
is
of the
hot.
video, I'm going to make a reel, Instagram reel out of it and put it out there
Let me do a
because
screenshot.
I've already screenshot. Don't worry, I got that covered from the moment I saw it.
oh boy, man, this is a fight that it's not going to be entertaining for us to watch. You nah. Hey,
I'm going to sit out of this one.
ah, Temba, it is hard for us to react to this one, oh. Because hey, two of our guys are fighting. Hey, hey. Okay, but now let's talk about the reality of this happening, right? Kamaru Usman does not see himself as a gatekeeper yet. He doesn't want to fight people that are coming up the ranking, right? He wants to get back into the title. And any fight that he's fighting next, he wants it to be his way back to the title. Hence why he wanted to fight Chimaev. So he can be like, yo, look, I beat the hype king. Give me the title next, right? And then he thought, okay, the next person might probably be Bilal Mohammed. That hasn't happened. And I heard some things about Wonder Boy, which wouldn't do anything for him. So a lot of people wanted Usman to fight that guy from Kazakhstan,
Yeah,
Kyrgyzstan, Shafkat.
that's my guy.
Shafkat
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rakhmonov.
Shafkat Rakhmonov.
Shafkat.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a
That's
high
one.
risk fight. Very high
Yeah. So
risk.
I think before Usman gets to start fighting if he probably would fight Temba, I
I'm
think it
coming.
would have to
I
be
need to
when
screenshot more
Usman
evidence.
accepts to be a gatekeeper at this point, right? And I understand what Temba means as passing the torch because here Temba says, "Don't do it, please. It's just a thing, man. I really want to have this fight, not out of respect, but I want to have a fight to carry the African torch."
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand, but I think Usman is like maybe a year away. If he wins again, he's back into the title picture again. But I think Usman will probably not agree at this point. And you know what, Temba, if you remember, Usman refused to move to middleweight because he didn't want to fight. Remember when he has
Easy.
beaten everybody, he started fighting them twice. He didn't want to fight another African. And I
Mm.
bet you if this comes to his ears, he'll be like, nah, I'm not fighting another African dog. But I totally understand where Temba is coming from with this one. I'm going to scroll up a bit. I missed some people in the comments here. Made the UFC turn away from the fight. Oh, no. I was talking about that. We have
I have to
Jesse
win.
says MMA Masters versus Kill Clip. Which fight is he talking about here?
It's the Temba fight.
MMA Masters. Oh, Temba. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right. MMA Masters and Kill Clip. Yeah, well, I think we've seen that before, haven't we? Usman, Kobe, Covington, 2.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Going down, we've got Christopher Graham says, any thoughts on CM Punk AEW situation? Any pro wrestling fan out here? You guys don't care, but I'll quickly comment on this one. I think CM Punk is a cancer. I think he's an well. To get you guys up to speed, CM Punk just got fired by AEW because he's fighting everybody backstage, and he is such a headache for everybody. I think AEW is good enough without him. I'm not a fan of AEW. Temba Gorimbo says, having that said, I have to keep winning. Yeah, Temba. Yes, Temba. We are out. We are still waiting for that fight announcement, Temba. We are out here. We are going to promote the heck out of that thing. Jesse says Shafkat also trains at Killcliff, but he trains with Trevor Whitman. So the fight is definitely possible, but that's a scary matchup for Usman. Yep. It is kind of scary at this point because we haven't seen Usman's comeback. We MMA fans, we are as good as our memory
Last
is as
time we
good
saw
as the
you
last
fight.
fight.
Yeah.
So we are thinking Usman is sort of like a scrub now because he lost a close fight to Leon Edwards.
Leon.
But that's why he wants a big fight to come back. Let's see. Temba says, I love Usman and what he has done and made history for Africa. Nothing but respect, guys. Having that said, don't clickbait me on that. I will do it myself. I have to just keep waiting. Yes, boss. When I don't hear Abby, all the screenshots you guys have taken, don't post it. Temba said so. Please.
You pay
All
me
right,
money.
I'm going. Temba, give us Dwayne Johnson the Rock money. We are waiting for that rock money,
You're not
Temba.
insulting me and my cutting. You don't want me to post you.
Yo,
Play.
Temba, send Toby Dwayne Johnson money so he can buy green screen and he can buy lights.
Living.
Um, let's see. Oh, sorry. This is where we are at. Demola, you were about to mention the 3 fights. I am very sorry we
Yeah,
got
that's
carried
true.
away.
That's true.
We got carried away. Apologies about that.
Okay, that's fine. I said John Jones, I think, has an 80% chance, so that's an 80-20. Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira. That fight is very, very close. I think Islam has the edge, but it's 51-49, in my opinion. Grasso Shevchenko. Hmm. Shevchenko likely to win, but it's a 60-40. Yeah, that's it for me. So John Jones has the
Oh,
highest chance of
all
keeping
right.
it.
Let's go to Oche real quick. We've got 5 minutes to go. Oche, what do you think about
Um,
who changes titles? Which title changes hands before the end of the year?
I I think Jones keeps his title. I can't actually say. Funny enough, I'm finding it hard to pick a winner between Islam and Charles because I feel like when you're there's a benefit to becoming a champion really quickly, like the way Islam did it, because you always hear the commentators say you don't have that much footage for your opponents to study on you. So I feel that the Volkanovski fight was was a long term the Islam's future opponents will be very grateful for that because it showcased so many different facets of Islam's game that you can potentially try to exploit. And I don't know how that's going to affect Charles. Charles has had a huge upsurge recently. I don't know. So right now my tongue is I can't really make a pick for John Jones. And because I didn't watch Grasso's fight to take the belt off Shevchenko. I've been so focused on indigenous MMA and combat sports that I haven't really been focusing in the international scene like that. So I didn't watch that. So guys, please just bear with me on that. I apologize.
It's okay. You heard it from Oche. How about you, Toby? Toby, surprisingly, your internet connection is really good today.
You, I feel like you're about to jinx it. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
all right. I think John Jones keeps his belt too, but I don't think it's as wide, a difference as in the skill level between the two of them as they make it seem. I think it's a very difficult fight because Stipe is very very skilled, and I'm not sure that John Jones has the power that Ngannou had that made that fight very awkward for him. But I still think John Jones wins that fight.
Stipe is also very old, very old.
I
I was
I
just about to
absolutely
chip that
I
in.
absolutely
And
I
has
absolutely
undergone
don't
rust.
want I absolutely don't want to see another Stipe title run. That guy fights literally every 15 months. 2 seconds, he will tell you that he's gone back to Cleveland to be a firefighter.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't want another title run. We suffered with his title run, man. Yes, sorry, finish what you are
Uh,
saying, Toby.
okay, so yeah, as in Oche gave us, said that the blueprint to probably taking on Islam is the Volkanovski fight, but I feel like Volk presents some certain skill set that not everybody has, and that's why that fight went the way it did. When they fight again, I think the major thing is if Charles get taken down, if he gets taken down, is there can he get back up? I think that determines how that fight goes. Volk proved that he had the skill level and the willpower to get back up. I'm not sure if
You don't have
Charles
to
has
do a deep
managed to
dive.
do that.
Sharply, sharply,
Yeah, yeah,
sharply,
yeah.
sharply.
Okay, and yeah, I think Chevy wins that title back. I think that was just a one-off.
All right, let's dive into the comment section. Oh, some interesting things have been happening here. Jesse says, I think the next UFC African champ is a guy who isn't in the UFC yet. Come on, Jesse. Uh, Temba says no, the next African champ is Dricuss. And Jesse thinks Losin Keita is, in his opinion, oh, we lost Toby there, the best African fighter outside of the UFC. Christopher Graham agrees with him. Temba is happy that he is here in the USA and he can join the chat live. Keep it up, boys. Yes, Temba. And Jesse Dunaway says Oki, who just fought on the contender series against Dylan Salvador, will be a massive, massive problem. Oh yes, oh yes. Oki is one of us, but Temba claims him for Zimbabwe. But nah, he's Nigerian. He's Nigerian. All
It's
right.
Nigerian
I
Zimbabwean.
think we'll just do one more from the Patreon. Christopher Graham, shout out to you, my brother. We really, really, really appreciate it. Uh oh, the comments. Oh yeah, my brothers let me go train so I can keep winning. Bless you. Keep this coming. I am a fan. Temba, no. We are the fans. We are the fans. Shout out to you, Temba. We really, really appreciate the support. We are still waiting for the Dwayne the Rock Johnson what's that thing called? Check. So we can buy Toby a green screen in Nigeria. Joking. All right, thanks, Temba. And let's get to yeah. So it's kind of mind-boggling that there's 9 title changes already in the UFC this year. It's crazy. It's crazy how bad. And I'm going to take just one more before we go from Christopher Graham's questions. There's this one I saw because Christopher Graham does a really good job of articulating the questions, and we'll just drop them in here. Yeesh. Is the result disaster for UFC? Okay, let's just do this one before we go.
There was a really important
Um,
question about the future of UFC Africa, though, if you want to tackle that as well.
yeah. Okay, let's do this and then we'll just touch that and then call it a night because we've been here for a while.
Okay.
Rank the champions in terms of who loses their title soonest. Before I even look at that list, the person that loses his title is Sean Strickland. I think Sean, I think Sean Strickland is not going to get a title defense successfully. I honestly think he's anybody that fights him next is the next champion, in my
Mm.
opinion. But I'm going to go through the list again. So heavyweight John Jones, middleweight Sean Strickland, Leon Edwards, Islam Makhachev, Volkov, Sean O'Malley, Pantoja, Grasso, Whaley. Whaley is holding on to that title. Nobody can beat her. So, but then,
Mm.
Oche, you don't have to steal my
Mm.
answer. Who do you
Mm.
think loses his title first?
I have the person that screams out to me, but this time I'm just being biased. Is Pantoja, just because I don't know, man. The fight was so messy, and I just feel like those I don't know. But that's my pick. There's no need to justify it. Pantoja.
Okay, that's a good one. If Pantoja fights Manel Kape again, because that will be two Manel Kape Pantoja two. I'm going to be siding with Cap, but I think Pantoja will probably get his rematch with. Sorry, Moreno will get his rematch with Pantoja, and I can see Moreno taking his title again. All right, Demola, who loses his title first in the list?
I'm going for
You don't
somebody
have to
you
pick.
guys are not. I'm going for
Yeah,
somebody you
exactly.
guys are not going
Don't
for,
pick the one. Yeah.
and that's logically and chronologically basically that would be Leon Edwards. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I think that that is the next title fight upcoming, and Colby Covington actually beats him. I respect him,
Mm.
but I think Colby has
Mm.
the skill set to beat Leon Edwards.
Has
So
that
that
fight
should
been
be the fight.
announced yet?
It should be probably like January next year.
Oh God, Leon is notorious for staying out, not fighting
Out.
when he was a contender. Talk about now when
Mm.
he's a champion. Wow,
Mm.
we are in for a ride. Oh.
Mm.
Who hasn't gone? Oche, you haven't gone, right?
No,
Toby, you
I've
have.
gone. Yeah, it
Who was it?
was.
Toby, you
Toby
haven't gone.
hasn't gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh Strickland, I think he loses his next fight.
I already said Strickland.
Oh, I wasn't here.
There's no rule that says you both can't pick the same person
No,
now.
I want to.
For
I
me,
want
it's
us to
Strickland,
for the sake of for
Grasso,
content reasons.
Pantoja. Grasso, I think Grasso loses. I think after Strickland for me will be Grasso. I think she loses to Chevy.
Yeah, I'm just going to add to this with regards to Kobe Covington beating Leon Edwards. I think if Kobe beats Leon Edwards, he would probably call out Kamaru Usman because that's the biggest fight in the middle in the welterweights, and he has two fights, two L's that he would want to get back. So I think he might probably call out Usman. I'm not sure, but
I don't
because
think
he's
he
going to
will.
have he's going to have the whole shadow on his head that, oh, uh you are a champion, but there's somebody in your division that you can't beat. He beat you twice. He probably will be like, maybe, I don't know if he's going to feel that way, but yeah, I think maybe Covington winning will be a good thing for Usman getting back into the title. All right. So yes, you mentioned about this UFC Africa situation. Let me pull it up on the screen. So we talk about it one last time. It seems like Oche, you have something you want to share about that.
No, I just remembered, really.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I think we've already spoken about it. Dricus and Izzy is the only leverage we have for it to happen.
Mm,
Um
yeah,
all right.
really sad.
I think we should call it a day. We've been here for 65 minutes. That's a lot of time.
Mm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, today has been really fun in the comment section. We had Temba Gorimbo out here being annoyed that we are not very active. We apologize, Temba. We are trying. We are trying. And guys, if you want to be part of the panel and share your opinion, Jesse Dunaway, Green Tea, any of you fellas, if you want to be out here, go on Patreon, pledge, and we would pull you out here and you share your opinion. If you don't want, if you're too shy of the camera, you can drop your questions in there, and then they will come out here and then we'll deliberate about it. Yes, yes, yes. Tumbosun, Tumbosun is late to the party. He said, "Guess I gotta watch the replay." You bet your ass here. You, we're not staying for another hour for you, or Mr. Oyenuga. All right, guys. This has been fun. I really, really appreciate you guys agreeing to do this. First of all, King Demola, I know that you are not feeling very well. Um, I hope you get well soon. And I know you have been very sad with the way the outcome of the fight it was yesterday. You being the president of uh, Israel Adesanya fan club. Again, appreciate you. Shout out to you. Young Goche, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to do this. I know that you squeezed to do this. I remember when I'm pretty sure when I messaged you today, you were like, "Oh shoot, I actually committed to this. I forgot about that." So,
I remembered. I remembered. Funny enough, I remembered.
okay, great stuff. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, the poster boy, bad internet connection. It's Toby Aderemi. Thank you, and shout out to your internet for holding up that you only went out twice today. All right, guys, this has been fun. Toby, we should start cutting this podcast into segments and be posting them, please. So Temba cannot be attacking us for being inactive, okay?
We'll work on that.
All right, guys. All right, guys. There are the boys. Here I am, JB from the African Fighters, and we are signing out.